really troubling things, many troubling things in recent weeks and recent months. But one in particular is this idea that if you're a feminist and a Zionist, it's incompatible. Probably most of you are aware that one of the women who was very prominent in the Women's March that was so big in Washington, and then in the women's strike a couple weeks ago, very, very emphatically came out with the piece saying you cannot, Zionism and feminism are incompatible. And I know at Hadassah that was something that there was a lot of concern about, and I'm sure in a lot of other circles. How do liberal Jews get involved in that, or the Black Lives Matter, which is a concern among many people?
I'm of mixed number one, I'm sad. Number one, I'm sad. But the question is, you can only be sad for so long, then you got to actually do something about it. And so, on the one hand, I could say I'm not getting involved in Ferguson or Women's March or Black Lives, all these liberal causes, because I know that some of the people there have their views when it comes to Israel are let's just say, are not my own. On the other hand, the chutzpan, the nudnik in me thinks, sorry to use, davka, I should go to those things, that I should go to the Women's March. I was picking up one of my kids at the airport, and I saw the marches on, and this is just a new chant. It's all chances from Palestine to Mexico. All the walls have got to go. And I was saying, I would have been standing there with you guys, but you lost me when you conflated one issue with the other. And I said, maybe I should be there. Wearing some big, I might get beat up, but I with a big, waving a flag and saying I'm a proud supporter of Israel, and I'm also proudly on the liberal side of whatever the issue is. Because if I don't do that, then I don't see how we're going to dig ourselves out of the hole, right? Just because I disagree, right? This is just coalition politics or otherwise. Just because, we might disagree on 10 different issues doesn't mean that you and I can't work together on this one issue. And I think that needs to be our tactic moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with that it's no point in ceding ground on issues that we do agree with because of those disagreements. Now, we have to do the education. And I think sometimes what has happened, obviously there are people with strongly held ideological views, but I think sometimes we as a community have just been maybe slow to the mark to make our case to our, let's say, liberal allies in some of these other causes, and they've been co-opted by somebody else who came with a different agenda. And had we been there, we might have been able to at least stabilize that ground, or at least keep those other voices more at the margins. The difficulty I realize, especially on campuses, is that young people, maybe not with the full education equipment they need, but even when they have it, are really put in a very, very challenging situation. They're there to study, they're there to have an education, they're there to do some other things, but they're then kind of thrust out there to be the shield and the defenders of Israel and the Jewish people and the legitimacy of Zionism within that context of those somewhat hostile, sometimes hostile liberal voices.